Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast. The Hawks storm back from a 2-0 deficit to defeat the Pittsburgh Penguins 4-2. What a night to be a Blackhawks fan. Conor Bedard makes his debut, picks up an assist. The Hawks get a comeback win. Boy, what a different feeling from literally every night of last year, of last season. It's unbelievable. We had last year, Hawks won a game and people were jumping off a ledge, and now we're here celebrating a win as we should be, which is natural for sports fans to be feeling this way. We're so glad you're with us. If you're new here, thank you. Make sure you smash that like button for us. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page. We are very close to a subscriber milestone. Help us get over that hump. 40,000 YouTube subscribers. We want to get over that hump ASAP. Also, check out ALLCHGO.com. Become a diehard. You become a diehard, you get a free shirt or hat of your choice upon sign up. Access to all of our great written content, discounts on merch, discounts on events. It is totally worth it. It pays for itself. ALLCHGO.com to become a diehard. And of course, CHGOLocker.com to check out all of the great merch we have, including several Blackhawks inspired designs. So Mario, let's get it started. We're going to hear from Greg here in a little bit, but man, you and I were talking on the elevator on the way out, and the Hawks were down at the time. And I said, is it me, or are the Hawks like at least playing on an even playing field as the Penguins, or maybe even playing a little bit better? And this is the discussion we had on the way out of the building.
Yeah, I mean, aside from the Penguins through the first two periods of the game, just capitalizing on the chances that they did have, the game was pretty even. And just a stark contrast from the experience we had last year, first game of the year in Colorado, to this year being in Pittsburgh. And yeah, was last year's Colorado team better than this year's Pittsburgh team? Yes. But is this year's Blackhawks team better than last year's? I think we talked about it all off season, how this team just feels like it's better constructed to be an NHL team. And you saw it tonight. At no point in tonight's game did I feel like, oof, this is going to be a rough season.
No,
not at all. Well, it's such a different feeling.
It's funny. We were talking yesterday and on one of our rides somewhere, and I said to the guys, like, it's sometimes I have to like catch myself, because I remember conversations going into last season, like, if Colin Blackwell can score 15 or 20 goals, and you start to talk yourself into like everything that they're doing to make it feel better.
Everything going perfect.
Right. And I've been trying to check myself, but you look at the guys that have been brought into this team. Nick Foligno with a empty net goal had the biggest blue line, if you value such things, for the Blackhawks tonight.
Yeah.
Corey Perry with a pair of primary assists and a couple point-blank scoring chances that Tristan Jarry denied. Ryan Donato making huge plays, scoring a goal. Like, the impact. And then you've got
crazy
Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson, Gensel, Rust, all these really good NHL players up against three rookie defensemen. And yeah, there were some moments from Korchinski and Kaiser and Vlasic that they might want back, but I saw nothing tonight from them that I say, oh my God, these guys can't handle this. They're not ready. There was none of that in this game.
No, and it's game one of Kevin Korchinski's NHL career.
Yeah.
It's game one of the season. It's Vlasic and Kaiser being, given the opportunity to be full-time NHL players. The guys are going to have young defenseman mistakes. This is the season to get them out and put those mistakes on tape and learn from them. And yeah, for this being game one, there was no egregious, boy, they look really out of place.
No.
Like Vlasic made a great play on the game's first goal from Donato, or Blackhawks' first goal from Donato. Great play by Vlasic there. Kaiser had some missteps, but he was active in the game. He was very involved. You mentioned it before we got on the air. It seemed like he was much more involved than his 15 minutes of ice time seemed.
A lot of good moments from him.
And Korchinski, like, we've talked about it before about young defensemen. If you're not noticeable, sometimes that's a good thing, because that means you're not doing a ton of bad things. You're just, and we talked about it in the pregame show. Sometimes it's fine just making the safe, smart play and sometimes that means just dumping the puck and living to play another day. And Korchinski, I think, played well offensively, played okay defensively. There's obviously still lots of room for him to grow, but no point in this game against a team that's got a lot of firepower did their defensemen look overmatched. And the veterans, Tenorti played his role fine.
Yeah.
Connor Murphy made a few good defensive plays. Seth Jones was very composed offensively. The defensive game was pretty solid. And then you got Peter Mrazek.
Mrazek was great.
An incredible performance outside of the Sidney Crosby goal, which I don't blame him for overplaying.
And he had lost his stick moments earlier, but still way out of position. But again, he redeemed himself from that goal 5 or 6 times over with saves he had no business making before that and after.
Yeah, without his performance tonight, we're not talking about a comeback. So incredible night for him tonight. If I said it on social media during the game, if the Blackhawks get this version of Peter Mrazek for most of his starts, they're going to surprise a lot of teams.
Hey, man, veteran in a contract year, probably fighting for his NHL life. Not just fighting for his next contract, but fighting for his NHL life.
Yeah.
Something we do after every post game. If you're new here, we let you pick the 4th star of the game. So the 3 stars of the game today, Pittsburgh's Brian Rust. Number 2 is Peter Mrazek. Number 1, Jason Dickinson. So our nominees for the 4th star of the night, Corey Perry, who I already mentioned, had a pair of primary assists and a couple of really nice scoring chances. Ryan Donato, who scored a goal, and Conor Bedard, who we haven't mentioned yet. Bedard with an assist, 5 shots on goal, 5 more shot attempts, 21-29 of ice time. Every time he was on the ice, he was dangerous. And I was on the scorer during the first intermission.
Name drop.
And I said, there is an audible, well, I guess it would be inaudible. When he touches the puck, the Penguins crowd got quiet.
Yeah.
There was a fear that something bad was going to happen. And that reminds me very much of every time Connor McDavid touches the puck I remember that series in the bubble, which had no fans, but sitting at home, every time he touched the puck, it was sheer terror. It's coming for Bedard. He was so close so many times, and he just played so well for his first game with the huge spotlight, with all the attention, with all the demands put on him today. Came out and performed very well. And look, the Hawks as a whole got slaughtered on faceoffs.
Yeah.
Connor Bedard won 2 of 13. That's a problem we'll get to. We'll solve it, but I think that's for another day, right?
He might win 11 of 15 tomorrow, and it'll be totally fine.
Exactly.
Guys, we got a ton of super chats.
Yeah,
one in particular has to be brought up right here. Steven Belat. What a great way to start this season. 4 really good lines, just like each of the Blackhawks great teams. I'm so happy tonight.
That's $100 super chat.
$100.
Thank you, Steven.
The ride, folks. A bunch of other super chats here. Windy City Hockey, $2. Man, this was such a fun game. I agree. Another one here from McBaconator.
Yeah.
$5 says, Garsh, that ESPN broadcast was awful. At least the game was so good. We had something good happening. Oh, and let's ducking go. And P.S. Schittsburg. That's from McBaconator. Not my opinion of Pittsburgh. We didn't hear much of the ESPN broadcast, but the ESPN broadcast we did hear, the Blackhawks were winning, so I thought it was great.
Yeah. I will say, like, I felt like, and maybe this is a little bit needed in this, like, the whole world is revolving around Connor Bedard today, that Ray Ferraro was kind of like, I don't want to say tempering, but he was also pointing out, hey, he probably doesn't want to have shifts this long or this much ice time this early in the game.
That's fair.
Etc. It's fair analysis. It did feel a little bit like a wet blanket sort of a thing, but I also don't want my analysts just being positive all the time just for the sake of it. So I can see where you're coming from. By the way, we're very much enjoying Pittsburgh, so I will not claim Schittsburg on that at all.
And I will say, we've had some people reach out to us on social media and other channels and stuff, say, hey, you guys should do, some documentation of this trip to Pittsburgh. Like, when you went to Nashville, that would have been really cool to see.
It's coming.
We did have documentation of our Nashville trip. It just kind of got lost in the shuffle. But I will promise you, there is going to be an extensive behind-the-scenes documentation of our Pittsburgh trip. If you like food vlogs, there's something for you there. If you like hockey vlogs, there's something for you there. If you like scenery of Pittsburgh, there's also something for you there. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Another super chat rolling in here from Edward. I got the wrong scroll bar. I'm on lots of coffee. Edward says, calling now a Bedard hat trick at the home opener. That'd be fun.
Sure.
That'd be fun.
I'll take that. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just so much to get to here. It's just
so much energy now because of this coffee.
Yeah. Geez. It is so different, man. I just can't get over how different today feels.
Last year we were begging fans to stick it out.
Yeah.
And stay and hop on the ride and stay on the ride. This year, fans, this is the ride.
Yeah.
Be on it. Embrace it. This is going to be a ton of fun. You know, we had people coming up to us today at the game, at practice and everything. People with the Pittsburgh team, and just saying like, Blackhawks this year. What's it going to be like and all this stuff. And it's just overwhelmingly, this year is going to be more exciting, at the very least. Like, not talking about exciting wins or anything like that, but just exciting to have new things to talk about. Exciting to have the next era come through. And I would like to say that after tonight's performance and, the game that Bedard had, the game that Vlasic and Kaiser and Korchinski collectively put together, it's all collectively a net positive for the young guys. Cole Guttman too,
yep,
with a great goal, his first game back after his season ended last year because of surgery. Lucas Reichel was a little invisible, but again, not every game is going to be highlight worthy.
Yeah, and I don't love the makeshift line without Kurashev and Athanasiou. I don't think it fits Reichel very well.
Yeah, you got Kachuk and Radish. It's kind of mismatched.
Kurashev and Athanasiou make a lot more sense in that context.
Right. And I just think going into this year, there's so much new and exciting. It's the next era of Blackhawks hockey. The past, I think, after tonight, we can finally put it behind us. We can, at least. I know the national media is not going to, but we can at least finally be like, all right, modern day cup run, Keith, Seabrook, Hossa, Taze, Kane, all the greats. The stop is tonight. Everything moving forward is this next group. This next group is here. I know it's one game. I know it's game one of a long 82-game season. It's the first game for a lot of these guys. The stopgap between that era and this era was tonight, and you do it with a win.
Yeah. Good question here from Nate. It says, what ways did you see Richardson easing the kids in? For example, zone starts, face-off set plays, shift time, etc. I was actually a little bit surprised how little he was matchup chasing early in the game. He was just kind of letting things roll and go as they did. And I think when you have a team with a rookie on every defensive pair, it can be tough to say who's the one I really trust, right? Like, what's what I'm going to put out there in crunch time. I didn't see a lot of easing. I really didn't.
He kind of let the guys go.
Yeah, he really did. And I kind of like that. Like, look, these guys have earned their spots on this team. And I don't think Luke Richardson has any interest in coddling them or making sure they feel like throw them out there to the wolves. I already rattled off all the great players that Pittsburgh has. And trust me, it wasn't just Conor Bedard with stars in his eyes.
Oh, yeah.
It was Korchinski. Kaiser's played some games, but still, like, it's still Sidney Crosby right there, right? Like, Vlasic, all these guys were all sort of feeling the same thing. Bedard had the spotlight, but all these young players had that same feeling, and it was sink or swim, and for the most part, they swam.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, we saw Seth Jones led the team in ice time. The second defenseman behind him was Alex Vlasic, his defensive pair. So there really wasn't any leash pulling on Vlasic. He was out there for a lot. Bedard was over 20 minutes. As far as the face-offs, we made note of it during the game. Ryan Donato ended up taking a lot of face-offs instead of Conor Bedard. He didn't fare too well either in the face-off dot. So I think collectively as a whole, the Blackhawks just had a bad night at the dot. But that was an interesting kind of interchange. I don't know if that was maybe just the matchup at the dot on the ice, or if it was a directive from Richardson. I'd like to think that he'd give those guys some leeway to kind of feel out that aspect of the game. Zone starts, Bedard seemed to be mostly offensive. I don't know if I tracked too many defensive zone starts for him. Reichel kind of the same way. I didn't really see him taking too many defensive zone draws. That mostly went to guys like Jason Dickinson and Cole Guttman.
Let's see. Conor Bedard zone starts were 66% in the offensive zone.
Yeah,
which is expected, but not like terribly high. And Reichel was that's 75% offensive zone starts.
66% offensive zone starts. That's kind of what you expect from a more offensive geared centerman. You're going to give him the majority in the offensive zone. He's not Jonathan Toews. He's not going to, it's not a 50-50 split. He's not going to go out there and take penalty kill draws or anything like that.
Right.
Yet.
Couple other super chats. These are coming in so fast and furious. So everybody, we're going to get to all of them, but they're coming in so fast. It's like, it's almost it's almost hard to keep up with. James with a $10 super chat says, great win tonight. I imagine they will be in the hot tub in Boston tomorrow after morning skate. Somehow they got to get their bodies ready for tomorrow's game.
I feel like there's not even going to be a morning skate.
Yeah, they probably will not have a morning skate. They'll be ready to go. Look, that's the benefit of having a mostly young team. Now, you added Perry and Hall and Foligno, and that hurts the average age of your team. But for the most part, this is still a very young team, and they should be ready to go. I'm more worried about us.
10th youngest, 10th youngest in the NHL by average age. To compare that to this Penguins team, actually the oldest. Average age 30.8 years old, a full year and 4 months older than the next team close to them. But yeah, I think the turnaround is going to be fine. It's game one.
Yeah, like they're ready to go.
You should have the freshest legs you'll have all season. And yeah, Perry, Foligno, those guys, they're veteran. Tyler Johnson, they're veterans. They know how to treat their bodies and get them going. And yeah, I don't think there's any chance they morning skate tomorrow. Not at all.
Another one from Gaming for Veterans says that the Hawks are able to play close games, not be blown out in multiple consecutive games like last year. The young guys will be able to develop better playing close, meaningful games, win or lose. It's a good point.
Yeah.
And the Hawks, I mean, for as horrible as that roster was last year, they made games competitive. But I said to you during the game, like, I just feel like every mistake is going to end up in the back of the Hawks net. And I think that's, muscle memory from last year, where it just felt that way, where every game, even when they were close, and sometimes even when they would win, they were just hanging on and the clock would just run out for the other team.
You had to be mistake-free last year to have a chance.
Exactly. And whereas tonight, they felt in control as often as I think the Penguins felt in control.
Yeah. I mean, they came back from down 0-2.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's recovering from, being down in a game and being able to play yourself back into a game. I think this is a team and a roster that is constructed to be able to play yourselves back into a game, rather than last year you had to just get your gears going and chug a lug back into the game just by sheer will. Which I think, if I would assume this year's roster is going to be able to carry some of that over from last year, because you still got Richardson behind the helm. That was a big change in the locker room, behind the bench, for that team to be able to do that. But then you also, you have a more talented roster, I think, up and down the lineup. So you're going to be able to play yourselves back out of some tough spots, which it's a very welcome change.
Definitely. All right. Well, with the Hawks playing as well as they did tonight, and hopefully they continue that trend in Boston and for the rest of this road trip, if that's the case, that Hawks tickets are going to become very in demand if they're not already. And buying tickets can be a really frustrating experience, especially when you're going through the third-party spots where it can be get a little bit expensive. We want to tell you about our friends at Game Time. You shouldn't have to worry when you're buying tickets to the next big event. Game Time is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater events near you. They've got killer last-minute deals, all-in prices. You can see the view from your seat before you buy it, and their best price guarantee. So if you find a better price elsewhere, you go to Game Time and say, hey, what gives? This never happens. fix it. And they'll say, okay, we're going to fix it. Here you go. Here's a better deal on your tickets. It's a great resource. The app is wonderful, super easy to navigate. Jump on it, use it. And if you're, let's say it's, 6 o'clock and a Hawks play at 7:30, you're like, man, yeah, kind of in the mood to go to a hockey game tonight. Check the app close to game time. Those tickets will drop and drop and drop. So it's really a great app. They do a great job on there. Those last minute deals, like I mentioned, are wonderful. Game Time is the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the seat, like I said before, and they will find ways to help you save money on tickets. They've got zone deals. You pick the section, and Game Time picks the seats for an average of 18% savings. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. That's a beer and maybe some popcorn. Yeah. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
You know what also goes well with a live sporting event?
Beer.
Specifically
Goose.
Goose Island beer, to be specific. Goose Island, they are the proud beer sponsor of us here at CHGO, and they have been Chicago's beer since 1988. Haven't seen much of any Goose here in Pittsburgh.
No,
but, that'll have to be remedied once we get back in the 312 area code. And speaking of the 312 area code, Goose Island's 312 wheat ale, you can find it at all of their locations. You can find it at pretty much anywhere that you can buy beer, and they are going to be in the unmistakable golden cans because it is the golden ale, and it is part of the year-round beer roster that Goose Island boasts. That also includes the Full Pocket Pills and the family of Beer Hug IPAs. You can find all of these beers and more when you have their 2 locations in Chicagoland. You can get ultra fresh brewery exclusives at their original brew house on Clybourne Avenue in Lincoln Park, or you can go to their tap room on Fulton Street in Westtown. Again, that's the Goose Island Beer Company, Chicago's beer.
All right, let's go out to the PPG Paints Arena and bring in our buddy, Greg Boysen, who is standing by. Hi, Greg.
Hi. How are we?
We are good.
We're feeling great. They won.
Yeah, that was quite the third period there, and you guys said that Mario joked on the way out that when if they come back and win, it's because you guys left early. So great premonition there.
I think this means you get all post games this season.
I'm not sure how I feel about that. As much as I love talking to players and coaches in a victorious room, which we're going to get a lot more this year, I don't mind sharing that experience this season.
Well, take us inside the locker room. I know, we've got some audio to share later in the show, but what was the mood like? I imagine it was Club Dub 2.0 in there.
Didn't get to hear that. We didn't go in the actual room. They took us off into that auxiliary locker room and brought the players to us. Makes sense. They got to get out pretty quickly. They're heading to Boston, so the visiting rooms are always tight quarters to begin with, so it probably made sense. One thing I wanted to clear up, our guy Charlie had the official story about Conor Bedard, and he did not forget his stick. That is a false narrative being put out by ESPN. Apparently, Conor has a superstition where he puts his stick that he's going to use outside of the room. So he put it outside of the room, but someone on the training staff didn't realize that and put it back in the room. So when he went out, it wasn't where it was supposed to be. So he had to go get it. So a little clarification on that play.
Well, that guy's fired.
Yeah. So it was a good run, Mike Parchment, but but it was
back to Chicago.
It was obviously a good mood. We got to talk to Jason Dickinson and Peter Mrazek, and of course Conor Bedard. Conor Bedard said that, and I quote, "I know I'm really struggling to score here these last few games." Well, technically it's only one. Like, those other games don't matter; they don't count. But he was happy. He said, I was creating out there. When I was on the ice, I was creating plays. And he says, as long as I'm creating and we're winning, the goals will come. And that's a good attitude to have. I mean, we saw what he was able to do on the goal. He called himself the least important player on the Ryan Donato goal. But when you watch that replay, you can't call him the least important because he drew in the defense, even all the way up to the blue line, and then saw that he had that just enough space to get the puck to Vlasic. And because he had the forward follow him up, Vlasic had a clear path right to the net. He took it, and then Donato does what he does, and he's at the front of the net to bang home the rebound. So I don't think he was the least important player. I think all three of those guys equally share the credit for that goal.
Oh, of course. I mean, look, it's a secondary assist, but you're not going to see a prettier. It's a no-look backhand pass to Alex Vlasic, who walks in, puts a shot on goal, and then Ryan Donato buries a rebound. That play doesn't happen without Conor Bedard. It's not like some distant pass that he just happened to be the last guy to touch. He made it happen with his presence and with the Penguins paying him a lot of attention. And like before you jumped on, Greg, I said how every time in the game, aside from like maybe the first shift, Bedard would touch the puck and like a hush would fall over the crowd because I don't know if they were expecting something magical to happen or expect something bad to happen to the Penguins, but
just curiosity, what's going to happen?
Yeah, he's got that aura around him already and the respect of the opponent already, where if he's got the puck, there's 2-3 guys closing in on him, and that's going to create a hell of a lot of space for his line mates. And I think you're going to see a lot. Like, that's why we're so high on Taylor Hall's production this year, because as soon as like the league starts to see like, oh shit, like he doesn't have a ton to learn at this level. We need to make sure we know where Conor Bedard is at all times. That's going to open up more and more and more ice for his line mates, whoever they may be. So it was great to watch. It was a lot of fun. And I just love how humble he is. But at some point, it's like, dude, it's okay to say you played it right.
If you play be a pro mode in NHL 23 or 24, if you've been able to buy the game since it's come out, Bedard is the guy that always selects the team answer. Team answer. Like he has the worst brand score in NHL be a pro mode that is physically possible. He just smashes the team answer button all the time. But I mean, we talked about it on the pregame show. Like you have to think that when he is, around the team, away from media and cameras and everything, he's a guy that is sure of himself and probably exudes a bit of that confidence a little bit. So, Greg, what did Luke take away from this game? What were his big talking points after the game?
He gave the guys a lot of credit for just sticking to it. They never got 2 down, even in that second intermission. Down, they got the goal right before that, and they just kept doing what they were doing. And he applauded the depth and the depth scoring this team has, something he did not have at his disposal last season. And we've talked about this recently, that this is a big deal, that they can match a team like the Penguins 4 lines all night long. So awesome for Cole Guttman, who, fought to get to the NHL, got here last year, and then had to have the surgery to cut his season short. First game back, gets that huge goal. Great play by Seth Jones on that goal to find him from below the goal line. Corey Perry gets some redemption tonight. He missed 2 chances right in front of the net on the power play, and then gets the redemption. His pass got deflected a little bit, goes right on the stick of Jason Dickinson, and then a little fun with Foligno and Perry on that empty netter. But those are the guys. Like, all the attention is on Conor Bedard tonight, rightfully so, and the young guys and the young defensemen. And who are the guys that come through at the end? It's Corey Perry, it's Jason Dickinson, it's Nick Foligno, a line that I said is going to be sneaky effective this year. And they were right off the bat, because this team was resilient. They were resilient under Luke Richardson last season, but this year they have more talent to where that resiliency is going to start paying off in actual wins.
Absolutely. We've got our poll going, Greg, for our 4-star of the night. We've got Corey Perry currently with 38% of the vote. Ryan Donato with 23% of the vote, and Conor Bedard with 39% of the vote. This is really tight. Get those votes in if you haven't yet. Make sure you smash that like button on our YouTube page as well. Conor Bedard spoke after the game. Greg, you did the work. Send it to us. So why don't we hear from the young phenom himself? Here's Conor Bedard after the Hawks 4-2 win over the Pittsburgh Penguins.
You went up against Malkin and Crosby a lot tonight. What was that experience like, and what do you feel like maybe taking that?
It was great, but in the end, when you're playing, you're not trying not to think about it too much. Of course, you're playing, and you're trying to stop them, which is not easy, obviously. But yeah, it was really cool for me to be here and play against those guys, and even Carlson the Tang. The list goes on. So yeah, pretty special.
To get a point and to win. So how would you summarize your debut?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, to get the win, I think obviously being down 2 and coming back like we did, I think it's awesome for our group, and I think you remember a little better taste in your mouth when you win. So yeah, it was awesome for myself and Kev to kind of have that experience.
Can you just take me through the lead up? Did you really forget your stick before warm up? What was warm up like? What was the first face off like?
No, I didn't forget my stick. I don't know where that is coming from, but yeah, I was like in the room, my back, and I remember me and Kev had that little pass and I totally whiffed it, so probably get trolled a bit online later, but it was fun. It was pretty cool, and getting to go no bucket was fun too, so yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
How nice is it to have Korchinski with you? You're kind of going through this together at the same time.
Yeah, it's great. Especially we knew each other from World Juniors, and we're pretty tight, and talk about the Western League a lot, of course, and but he's great, and yeah, like you said, kind of have another guy going through it with you, and you can talk to, you can learn from what they're experiencing in it, and for him, I think it's good too to have another guy.
How did that superstition start with the stick, where you put it along the wall there every day or every game?
Just so no one touches it, I guess, and the blade's not touching the ground. And in Reg, we had like stalls. I just put it kind of in my stall to flip it up, and then I think at home we'd have one too. But obviously on the road, you got to find a new spot. So yeah, just wherever it is, I'm feeling at that time, and yeah.
Was that Letang giving you the welcome to the league introduction, and how did you feel about all the attention?
Where?
Chris Letang, the physical stuff, like kind of knocking around.
Knocking me around? I don't know. To be honest, I don't remember. Are you talking about like on the power play there? Kind of.
Well, just throughout in the second period. And
was he knocking me around? No, honestly, I mean, I got hit a couple times, but that's hockey, and it's going to happen. So, yeah.
What did you see on that play that led to the assist, that led to Donovan's goal?
Yeah, just trying to find the open guy, and I think we almost had a couple there. Obviously, Seth, and then the last game, a nice play, and they kind of had another guy jump at me, and just gave it back to him, and he made a really good play going to the net, and then nice finish from Donnie. So, I mean, I was the least important guy on the goal, but obviously it feels good to get one there.
How would you describe the veteran leadership of your group tonight?
It's unreal. Like, we're so lucky. I mean, we got a really good mix, I feel, of guys that are younger coming into the league, and guys that have been here a long time, and they just know so much, and they're so smart on and off the ice, and just getting to have those guys in the room, being vocal, and teaching us. It's really special, and we're really lucky.
The opening faceoff, like, what's your heart rate? Like, how are you feeling? Like, were you less nervous than you thought? Was it what you thought?
I don't know. I just wanted to win it. Obviously, didn't, but just going into it, yeah. I mean, it was really cool, really special, trying to take it in. But in the end, you're focused on the hockey game, and there's nerves, of course. It's a pretty big moment in your life, but yeah, just trying to settle in and focus on that.
How did the afternoon feel waiting?
It was good. It was, yeah, pretty.
Not long.
Not bad. No, I think the longest part was the game got pushed back a bit, and so then that was the longest part waiting. That was the time where I was really watching the clock. But throughout the day, I got kind of a lot of stuff I do throughout, getting ready and everything. So the days usually go quick, which is nice. But yeah, I think that time waiting was a long time.
Did you guys want to get 2 points for Mrazek the way he played all night?
I mean, you always want to get 2 points, right? So yeah, he was unbelievable and kept us in. I think that save on Gensel that really turned the game around for us. Down 2, they just scored one, and to have that, and yeah, he was unbelievable, and he was definitely keeping us in there and the MVP of our team tonight.
What were you happiest with your game tonight?
Sorry?
What were you happiest with your game?
Felt like I created a good amount of chances for myself and a couple for others, and of course I'm having a tough time putting it in the net these past 4 or 5 games, but hopefully that comes, and I think for me, it's just trying to create. And if I'm creating, then you feel good. But of course, you want to put it in. But yeah, it feels good. Getting some chances, getting some goals on time.
Did you feel more sure of yourself as the game went on?
I don't know. Maybe a little bit. I think kind of at the start you want to be simple and but effective, obviously. And then as games go on, you just get more comfortable, get more in it. And it's a game I've been playing for however many years now. So it's a lot of fun. And but yeah, just kind of like I said before, just trying to get better every shift and adjust myself to playing against the best players in the world.
That is Conor Bedard, Chicago Blackhawks rookie after his NHL debut. Like you said, man, we said it in the pregame, every time he speaks, he seems more and more mature and more loose. And I think every glimpse we've had of him in the NHL so far has had a yeah, but. Mm-hmm. Well, he scored a hat trick in a rookie game, but it was a rookie game. I look at in a preseason, 5 points in 4 games. Yeah, but it was the preseason. Now he gets to do it on the road against marquee opponents in a true NHL game where everyone knows exactly where he is all the time and is still able to contribute and thrive. It was great to see.
Yep. Super
happy for the kid.
Love it.
Well, Greg, before we let you go and before we reveal the winner of Who's Your Hawk, I wonder who that might be. I'm not so sure. Anything we need to know about anything we missed or didn't get to that you have insight on?
Well, just a lot. Everybody said, that we talked to, they were happy that they were able to get the win for Peter Mrazek. He was so good tonight. Both goaltenders were really good, but Peter Mrazek makes 38 saves. Luke Richardson said that when he made that absolutely robbed Jake Gunsel, it was 2-0 at that point, and he made that save, and he said that's where it turned around. That's when the guys on the bench were like, okay, we got to get back into this. So that was a huge save. He stopped Sidney Crosby. Crosby had that goal, but he also stopped him on a breakaway earlier in the game. So he made some gigantic saves. The rebound control was a little iffy at times, but listen, you face 40 shots, you give up only 2 against a team like the Penguins. You've had a hell of a game, and he earned that win. So that everybody was very happy for him. I just think you get that depth scoring, like I said earlier. Jason Dickinson, Cole Guttman. You feel good for these guys, and how hard we've seen how hard they put the work in this offseason and training camp, and to come out here in a awesome hockey building. This arena gets loud, and these fans are into this game. I'm super impressed with everything we experienced here today at the PPG Paints Arena, from the fans to the building itself. Just awesome. If you're ever in the Pittsburgh area, you've got to come to a game here, regardless who's playing. So tough building to play in. Opening night, Sidney Crosby, Malkin, Erik Karlsson's debut, and you spoil it. You fall down 2-0 and you spoil it. Hey, I see we've had some Penguin guys in the chat. Crosby's the GOAT. We all know that's not true. And he's one of the GOATs, but he's not the GOAT. But listen, Crosby can't beat the Blackhawks. Those are facts. Look at the numbers.
That's exactly right.
Penguins, he can't. Look at I posted him in the pregame thread since Crosby's rookie year. Not good. And in the Blackhawks 9 trips now to Pittsburgh. They're 7-1-1.
How about that? And
if the GOAT can't, if the Crosby can't beat the Penguins on home ice, how is he the GOAT, my friends?
Hey, he consistently ducked the heyday Blackhawks. Never wanted to play them in the Cup final. So
absolutely. All right, I got to get out of here. After saying that, I got to get out of here before I get mobbed. There's still
all right. Well, let's pay it. Yeah. So here's the winner of tonight's Who's Your Hawk. It's me. I had Corey Perry. I am the winner. Hot dog. We have a wiener. Corey Perry ended the game with 2 primary assists. He was +2, 2 shots on goal, 1 more shot attempt, only 1 hit, and no nut shots. I was promised a nut shot when the Hawks brought in Corey Perry. Maybe he's saving it for Brad Marchand.
Be patient. They play Boston tomorrow.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's 81 games left. There will be nut shots aplenty.
I saw nut shots aplenty at Horde Fest. All right, Greg. Thanks for all your hard work, man. It's about a 6-minute lift ride, so we'll see you in a little bit. You might get here before the show's over.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Maybe if I do, I'm gonna photobomb you guys. I'm gonna run right onto the set.
All right, we'll see you in a bit, man. Thank you.
All right, see you in a few.
That is Greg Boysen live from PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. Man, I just can't. It's just what an awesome night. It's been an awesome night.
It's great.
So fun.
It's a lot of fun. This has been a night that we have been waiting for a very long time, at least 155 days since May 8th.
Yeah.
Not that anyone's counting or anything like that, but yeah, just a tremendous night. A lot of fun. A lot of fun in the chat tonight. We say it all the time on the show, saying it all the time on social media. This is the chance. Hop on the ride. If you hopped on last year and stuck it out with us, more power to you. If you want to hop on now before it becomes a little,
plenty of room,
little bandwagon-y and whatever. Plenty of room. We can always add more to the caboose of the train, and yeah, hop on with us. Hashtag HOTR. And if you're hopping on the ride, what you're going to want to do is make some money off of it and bet with DraftKings. And listen to us. I think we make some pretty good picks when it comes to betting.
Sometimes.
Tonight,
not a guarantee.
Tonight might have fallen short, but most of the time, pretty good stuff. So we have our DraftKings pick of the week, and I think it's only fair that the DraftKings pick of the week live for about 22 hours.
Like it.
So we're going to make a bet on tomorrow's Blackhawks and Bruins game, and it just changed on me. So let me find it again. Here it is. So this line will not stay for the entirety of the season. If you listen to our pregame show, which you always should do,
yes,
the over/under on Conor Bedard shots in the game by a different sports book than DraftKings was 2.5. If you want to jump on this now, if you want to jump on this now, DraftKings for tomorrow's game has Conor Bedard shots still at over under 2.5. If you want to be smart, hammer that over. It's minus 150, but if there's more of a guarantee, I've never seen one.
Free money
in my betting days. So, and it's better to bet overs. Betting unders is for people who are just, you got something loose if you're betting unders. If you want to make some money, bet the over 2.5 shots in tomorrow's game for Conor Bedard. That is our CHGO Blackhawks DraftKings pick of the week. And hey, the NFL season is underway. It is going strong for most teams outside of Chicago, and DraftKings Sportsbook is hooking up customers with an offer that's even stronger. If you bet $5 on any game this week to score $200 instant, you can do that and score $200 instantly in bonus bets. DraftKings isn't stopping there. All customers can take advantage of a sweetener offer every game day this October. The Bears have an interesting matchup this Sunday with the Minnesota Vikings. It's a NFC North divisional rivalry game, and the Vikings will be without Justin Jefferson.
Double win.
So that's interesting there. If you want to get spicy with your Bears bets, be sure to check out the DraftKings Sportsbook app and do that leading up to Sunday. Get in on the game day greatness. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now if you haven't yet. And when you do that, use the code CHGO. New customers can score $200 instantly in bonus bets when you bet $5 on the NFL. Again, that's code CHGO only on DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours.
Oh, I like that.
All right. I got to do this disclaimer.
All right, let's go. Loosen up.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369. In Connecticut, Help is available for problem gambling by calling 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, licensee partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles in Louisiana, 21 plus, but age varies by district. Void in Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. See sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms for eligibility and deposit restrictions, terms, and responsible gaming resources. How about that for a first read?
Nailed it.
I think that's another point in Who's Your Hawk.
No,
I don't think it helps me.
Nope, doesn't work that way. By the way, we added a new stipulation that if anyone pulls off the Michigan, they automatically win.
Yes, any Michigan this year is an auto win.
And I said if Boris Kachuk does it, I'll do the show shirtless.
I don't know whether to cheer for that or not.
Don't worry about it. It's not going to happen. All right, now our guy Steven, who is our favorite producer. Don't tell Sarah or anybody else. We say that to all the producers.
Said that with your chest.
He's been working on a fun new segment we're going to do in the post-game show. Is this ready to go? Yeah. All right, we're calling it Connor's Corner. And just enjoy the graphical artistry of one Stephen Nicholas. I love it. Yes! Connor's Corner.
That is beautiful.
Finished the game with an assist and 5 shots on goal. Love that graphic. Conor Bedard in his little toy room. We had to Google what that activity box was called, right? Like, he was like, what is that thing called where you like feed the wood balls through the
you see
like a roller
dentist
coaster
office and stuff. Yeah.
Once I said doctor's office, you knew exactly what it was. Jay, you were actually really close to calling whatever it was, but I've already forgotten.
It's like an activity box.
Yeah, that's what it was. Activity box.
Like
Wooden activity box. That's what it was.
Yeah, my daughter's got one of those at home.
Yeah, those are great. Every kid has one. It's also like the Little Tykes red and yellow car that gets all sun damage and you throw it away.
Yes.
All right, so you're gonna look at this and say, okay,
there's a Conor in the box there too.
That's right. 5 shots on goal. You got to dig into numbers too, because he had another 5 shot attempts. Like, so that's 10 scoring chance, 10 shot attempts total. That I believe led the entire game and by a significant margin. Evgeny Malkin had 6 shots on goal and a block shot, so there's 7. Gensel had 6 of his own. That's really it. That's the only guy even close to what Conor Bedard did. And like I said to start the show, every time he was on the ice, it felt like something was going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Malkin, 6 shots on net was the lead in the game, but Bedard led the Blackhawks with 5 shots on goal. I mean, it's his line with Taylor Hall and Ryan Donato was very effective. I mean, at 5-on-5, he had the best Corsi for percentage at 58.82. Shots for percentage at 5-on-5 with Conor Bedard on the ice, 12-7. That also led the team in favor of the Blackhawks. At all strengths today, and this is coming from our friends at Natural Stat Trick. At all strengths today, Conor Bedard had an expected goals for rate at 2.29, and his expected goals for percentage at all strengths was 3rd on the team at 77.16%.
And if we're looking at the blue lines that we'd like to talk about after every game, I've got the game scores here. And look at this, Mario. 9 of the top 10 players in this game were Blackhawks.
Yeah.
Nick Foligno with a game score of 2.85. Jason Dickinson, 2.33. Corey Perry, 2.27. Love that line. Thank you. Seth Jones, 1.82. Ryan Donato, 1.68. Riley Smith, that's the Penguin, 1.58. He did have a good game. Conor Bedard, 1.50. Wyatt Kaiser, 1.24. Peter Mrazek, 1.19. Andreas Athanasiou, 1.12. That is the top 10. 9 of them are Blackhawks.
Blue lines are like hips. They do not lie.
That's right. On the downside of it, Erik Karlsson, they almost had to create a new sheet for him for how poor he was defensively.
I mean,
I've never seen a line that blue line that left.
Yeah, that's a left hooking blue line if I've ever seen one.
Yeah,
I mean that's what the Penguins pay for. You're paying for the guy who has the capability of putting up 100 points and still being a minus.
Yep,
that's Erik Karlsson, and I mean, you don't really have a elite shutdown defenseman to put him with. I know he played with Marcus Peterson today. Good for Marcus Peterson, but I mean that's Erik Karlsson's game. It is offensive plus and atrocious defensive negative. So that's what the Penguins, paid up for. So I think that's you're gonna see that a lot. And Greg said it today a couple of times when Karlsson got a couple of ovations from the Penguins fans. He says, "Let's see how long those ovations last." And I find it hard to disagree because Karlsson had a historic, monstrous season last year, putting up over 100 points with an atrocious San Jose Sharks team.
Yeah,
I mean that you cannot deny how impressive that was offensively. But I don't think he can go out and do that with this Penguins team and be a net positive. We'll see. Time will tell. But it's with a lot of things this Penguins team is doing, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out.
Definitely. All right, we're going to hear from Luke Richardson here in a second, but we want to give you another chance. This is the closest 4-star vote we've had all year. The nominees, Corey Perry, Ryan Donato, Conor Bedard. Conor Bedard currently leading with 41% of the vote, 37% to Corey Perry, 23% to Ryan Donato. We're going to reveal the winner on the other side of Luke Richardson here.
762 votes.
Yeah.
450 likes. Let's
get over that 500 mark on likes.
Let's even those
here,
scales
gang.
a little bit.
I will say though, the viewership to the likes is a good ratio today. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But let's make sure to get in the habit. As soon as you pop on any of the CHGO videos, you smash that like button right away. And look, if you're like me and have several Gmails, I've got my my own personal Gmail. I've got my CHGO Gmail. I've got my Homewood Baseball and Softball Gmail. I've got the I'm Fat Podcast Gmail. Boom, 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 boom. There's 4 likes right there.
There you go.
Just knock them out. Just get in the habit of liking the videos every single time. All right, is Luke ready? All right, let's hear from Luke Richardson after the Hawks 4-2 win over the Penguins.
That's the way he's looked since he's gotten here. Begging to go on the ice at rookie or development camp because we didn't let them go on this year. So that's where he's most comfortable. That's what I said before, and I think he just wants to play and he wants to do well and he wants the team to do well. He's like all in on the team, but he is obviously shown, he's not afraid to use his talents. When the other team's vulnerable, I thought there was maybe only once or twice in the whole game where he tried to maybe do everything by himself at not the wrong time, just when it's, at the blue line when there's like a 1-on-3. Other than that, like he was, really carrying the play. I thought as the game went along in the O-zone, he made that play. He's so dangerous, even climbing high in the O-zone on the Donato goal, the first goal. He was so dangerous the whole shift, and they just people gravitate to him defensively, and it let Vlasic kind of walk down freely, get a good shot, and Donato just worked his butt off as he always does in the crease and got the goal. But it starts with Connor really moving and being creative, and it got us going there.
How would you assess the team game overall and the comeback in the third period?
It worked the whole game. I thought we had great scoring chances all 3 periods. And, we obviously gave some up or they earned them because they're a great team as well. And I think, Peter made some big saves for us at the right time. And we got some execution in the third period especially. And I thought we played excellent after that. We played simple, fast. I think we had 1 D-zone extension there, but our guys, we had 3 big blocks by Dickinson in the last minute there, and I think those veterans really kind of brought it home for us.
That scoring was such an issue last year. I mean, they've gotten in and Dickinson scored. Can you sense that maybe that's a better area this year?
Yeah, I thought we created some good chances in the power play. We didn't get any luck there tonight, but I really like the movement, and they look very dangerous. So Jari made some good saves and some secondary saves, especially on, I think it was Donato in the first period on the power play in front. And then I think Perry maybe in the third. So I think, we just got to bear down and make sure when this league is hard to win and it's hard to score and you have to really bear down when you get those chances. But it's early in the season and guys are still kicking off some of the rust, and hopefully we can score a few more goals. But you know what? I think our team works and we're comfortable with our style, and we play for 60 minutes, and I think we should be involved in every game.
Having 3 rookie defensemen, that would give a lot of coaches gray hair. Do you have to kind of just live and die with that, and just enjoy the good and handle the bad and just coaching moments?
Yeah, but I think, for sure 2 of them has some experience in the league, not a lot, but a little bit, and I think that goes a long way. And again, the leadership guys they're just, I can't say enough, like they're great for our young guys. But I thought Vlasic played excellent tonight, and even at the end, he was just so big and strong in the corner. He just gobbled up guys and the puck in their feet, and then Seth called for a little kickback, and we kicked it out to the weak side, and it led to the goal at the other end, and the Guttman goal. And Seth made a great pass at the end, but it all started in one end, and I thought Kaiser was skating, moving the puck well. Krasinski again, he looks like he can fly all over the ice all game. So I'm very comfortable with them. Sure, there's going to be nights where things go wrong, but they go wrong for guys that are in the league for 15 and 18 years. I'm sure Pittsburgh's not happy right now. So we got to be happy with the guys, and you got to love your players, and just work with them and help them grow.
It seemed like the Penguins tried to knock Bedard around a little bit, try to intimidate him. You see that and how he responded.
Yeah, no, he's fine. And I think, even on the power play, they go sit on him and try and take him away. Well, that opens up we got to be smart. And if we can start scoring in other places, they're going to have to honor that, and that'll open him up again. And, I think he's fine. He bounced up all night, and he knows, I'm sure that's happened to him his whole life. And it's going to keep happening until I'm here, until they realize that, you got to be careful, just like you go at Crosby or Malkin, that those are like maybe a little bit bigger, stronger guys, but they can dance you as well. So I think it was the second period he did that slick move from behind his back, and you can catch a guy leaning the wrong way and look really silly. So the more he gets comfortable and stronger and dangerous, he'll get more room because people will try and play him a little safer.
Blackhawks head coach Luke Richardson after the Hawks win, really liked that he pointed out how hard this team plays, and the quote was, "You know what, our team works and we're comfortable with our style. We played 60 minutes. I think we should be involved in every game." And like we said to start the show, we had thoughts that the team might be better than a lot of people think. It's one game. I don't want to jump to any grand conclusions.
Let's jump to them.
But they played well. They played a great road game. I don't think there's much doubt about it.
It's better to start your season with a performance like that than to just get kicked in the shins for 60 minutes.
Right.
So yes, there are going to be games in which they probably blow a 2-0 lead. Though they'll be on the other end of games like this. Nobody is perfect. So it's as much as 82-0 is still on the table. It's not realistic, obviously.
No.
But yeah, this is going to be. Hey, Greg's here.
Greg's home.
This is going to be a team that is going to surprise some teams that are maybe sleeping through the start of a game, or have themselves let their foot off the gas at the end of games. This is a Blackhawks team that's going to be able to will their way into games, play their way out of trouble, and we saw it all over. The national media today and yesterday. Everyone's putting out their divisional predictions and everything. Pretty much consensus across the board. Blackhawks were at the bottom of the Central Division, and I feel like it's going to be closer than people are giving them credit for. I really do. I think this is going to be a team that likely, again, still drafts in the lottery, but that doesn't mean they're 1, 2, or 3. They might be 10.
I mean,
11,
they could
12.
rig it for them again.
Sure,
which would be
why
fine.
not? Yeah, I wouldn't be against it.
No, that's fine. All right, we're ready to call it. Our first 4-star of the night for the regular season goes to the guy we all thought probably would win it if he wasn't one of the 3 stars, Conor Bedard, with 41% of the vote. Thank you to all 790 of you who voted on this poll. We greatly appreciate that. Almost as much as we appreciate your super chats. And before we run through all the ones we have to knock out here, we want to thank a couple of people who gave us super chats in our pregame show. Alexander, Bralsack, Ryan Miller, our buddy Greg Braggs, and Tebow 41 fan. Thank you for all your pregame super chats. We appreciate those. So Steven, do you want to run through all the super chats we've got remaining? Because I can't see them.
Anything we didn't pay off?
Yeah, we got a handful that I could get to right now.
Okay.
Let's get to that handful.
As soon as the laptop loads. Here we go. All right. Kerry Franklin, thank you so much for your great coverage with this team. So looking forward to this all year. Young Dangle God, he sent us $1. I don't know if there
had to be something.
There had to be a Patrick Cannon thing in there somewhere. I know.
For those that don't know, and those are with us for the first time, any mention of the Hawks re-signing Patrick Kane, you owe us $1 super chat. Young Dangle God does it every show on cue as a bit. And we appreciate it. He's probably up to about $100 by now.
Yeah, he's gotten very creative with it.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
I gotta find what he said.
Mick Lovin with a very specific $5.98. Corey Perry is a saint. Conor Bedard is so much fun. Nick Foligno needs to retire a Hawk and coach with Luke. And the D kids did amazing tonight. Let's go, Hawks.
Love it.
That would be fun.
That would be great. I love Nick Foligno.
He's
Everybody loves Nick Foligno.
I want him to be here all 82 games.
That'd be great. I say the same for Perry too.
Bone Crusher 54. Did anyone else think the opening face-off with Sutherland was awkward?
No, that was cool.
Bedard to the league.
Yeah, that's cool.
I kind of liked it.
Every national game has the ref start. Didn't they do that last year?
Yeah, they did a few times. Yeah, at least a few times.
It was like, oh, we're finally here, boys. All right, let's go. Woo! Like, okay,
I like it.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool. It's a nice touch, and like,
I can't wait to see Bedard's mic'd up segment.
Yeah, should be interesting. For real, I'm curious. I wonder how chatty he is on the ice.
Hopefully, it's interesting.
Yeah, I think it will be.
We got
anything else?
We got our own brags in the stands.
Yeah,
here.
buddy.
I'm all in. My dumb questions included. CHGO Blackhawks, best Blackhawks coverage in the city, hands down.
Well, that's true.
Braggs has hopped on the ride. He's fighting the conductor for the controls now.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
He wants to drive the train.
All right, is that everything?
No, it's so hard to figure out which ones we did and which ones we didn't do. There's at least one more though.
All right, let's go one more.
About Dustin, 499. Get used to it, guys. Bedard will be will be team only all year. Next year when he gets to C, he will then be more humble with taking a little bit more leadership.
Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt that he's in line to do that.
Yeah, he's not suddenly going to become a pudwhack.
No,
not a Corey Perry pudwhack. That's a different kind of pudwhack.
No, he's
like a guy who's feeling himself and is kind of a dick. It's just not his personality.
No,
it's not. All right. Well, we appreciate everybody being here. 1 of 82 is in the books. We're back tomorrow night after Hawks and Bruins. Our flight leaves in about 6 hours. So that's going to be fun.
I don't think it's worth even trying to sleep.
No, I don't think so either. We want to remind everybody that CHGO has a weekly Pick X and NFL Survivor contest for everyone to participate in for real money. Here's how you enter. Head to splashsports.com/CHGO. That link is in our description and sign up. You can deposit cash to get started, and it's just $10 to enter either the Survivor or the Pick X. CHGO Weekly NFL Pick X contest and Survivor contest. The more who enter, the larger the prize. We'll be running weekly contests all year, so be sure to keep that link handy. And if you want to run your own contest and you're tired of being the commish on leagues chasing people down with none of the reward, you can sign up to be a commissioner right through our link and earn money for the contest you're already running with friends and family. Head to splashsports.com/CHGO to join in. We'll have different contests coming out, so we're stoked to compete with and against you. Be sure to click the link in our description. Again, splashsports.com/CHGO.
Now, when we are in our normal studios, we are normally surrounded by a lot of different items of sports memorabilia and collectibles. That was stuck to that table.
That sure was. I thought it was nailed in.
It's not anymore.
I think it's another substance holding it together.
That's that wasn't great.
That's not from Foco.
Yeah, that's not from Foco. Foco will not stick to surfaces like that. That's not a proper guarantee. But before,
not from Foco.
You want to do a dust check on that one?
Nope.
Okay. Hey, Foco. They have tons of great sports collectibles and memorabilia. Our studios back home in Chicago are decked out in tons of awesome Foco gear, and you can get yourself decked out in the best sports gear around, whether it's things you can wear like hoodies, shoes, hats, overalls, banana hammocks,
of course,
and boxer briefs and swim shorts and all those things, or if it's stuff that you want to decorate your house or your office or your man cave, she shed, your basement bathroom, with signs, bobbleheads, everything in between. FOCO has you covered. And what we found out before the game.
Oh yeah,
we've been hoping that FOCO's got something, coming down the pipeline, and they sure as hell do. The first ever Conor, well, at least from FOCO, Conor Bedard bobbleheads. You can find them on FOCO. Go to FOCO.com. Check out the Conor Bedard bobblehead. Get yourself the first piece of FOCO memorabilia that is Conor Bedard issued. You can check out FOCO at FOCO.com, FOCO.com, or you can click the link in the description below. When you do, use the promo code CHGO, and for all non-presale items, like that Conor Bedard bobblehead, you can get 10% off of your order. Again, that's promo code CHGO when you go to FOCO.com.
All right. Really overwhelming tonight. Very exciting. So glad the Hawks won.
What a trip.
And I think, you and I were sitting here for the third period, and we were just so excited for the win. I think part of it was like, these fans effing deserve this. They deserve this win. Like, they stuck with the Hawks last year. They stuck with us last year. And all for this now, like, the next generation of great Blackhawks. It is so exciting. We're so glad they won for y'all, and we're so happy you were here for us after the game. We've still got about 500 people watching after an hour and 10-minute show. It's unbelievable, and we're right back at it tomorrow night.
Yes.
No pregame tomorrow.
No pregame tomorrow. We will all be napping, I'm sure. But yeah, we're back at it tomorrow. We got Blackhawks and frauds. in Fraudston. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Fraudston.
Yeah.
Say it like you mean it. All right. Thanks to Steven for running the show. A lot of hard work when we're doing these things remotely, especially at an Airbnb that is questionable to say the least.
Functional.
But we're mostly safe. All right. We'll see everybody tomorrow. What time's puck drop tomorrow? 6:30?
I don't know.
I'll see you after the game.
It's too early.
Just wanted to shit when the game's over. We'll be here. All right. Thank you, everybody. We love you. If you haven't hit the like button, make sure you smash it on the way out and tell a friend.
And subscribe. We're so close to 40,000. Help us reach our goal.
40K.
Thank you. Yes, do that. All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.